Hey everyone, so I actually sent out a freebie for February if you are on my email list, and I'm going to show you guys how you guys can get these down to get cut into stickers. Now, I actually already imported this into my Silhouette Studio, and this might look different depending what version of Silhouette you have. I do have the business edition, so all I did was actually import it. I also flipped this into landscape mode because my silhouettes actually cut better this way in landscape mode versus having them in like a portrait mode. But if you do have them in portrait mode, don't worry, this is just landscaped. Everything else is going to be completely the same. So I'm going to show you guys how I get these done. So first of all, obviously you have to import your image into Silhouette here. And then I actually open up a layer file here. Now, again, I did do a tutorial about this for my kits, for my sticker kits, and I kind of went over this a little bit, but it's a little bit different doing like a kit versus something that does not have a blackout file. I did not do a blackout file for these mainly because I personally don't even use one when I'm doing my own stickers, so I'm going to show you guys how I do this here. Okay, so I actually open up a new layer file here, and I always lock in the bottom layers because we don't want that moving at all. And then I add in a new layer. So you just click the plus here, and that will make yourself a new layer. Now, I did mention this in my last tutorial. If you're used to Adobe or anything, the layers are opposite than they would be like in Adobe. Once you do have your second layer open, I just open up the Open Trace window and I go to Select Trace Area, and I just highlight these. If you guys can see, I did do like a little like cut layer here for your stickers. I'm going to do these for individual sets. Sometimes when you're doing decos and stuff, it's actually easier to do this into little like sections. So 4 sections is actually kind of perfect for this. You highlight everything that you want, and then I just go in and move these little markers around and make sure everything is highlighted. So after you do that, you just trace the outer edge, and then you do that for all 4 of the like stickers here. Sometimes you really just need to select these fairly quickly. You can kind of pinpoint to see that they're like taken care of. Obviously, if you do too much, this entire thing will get highlighted. For the most part, because these have like a black line around them, they should be fairly easy to trace here. You don't have to actually fidget with the layer. So after that, I just select all of those and hit the offset select shape button, which is on your top left of your screen. And then you just go in and change the distance here. So I usually do a 0.038. You can also do a 0.040 if you're cutting something extra tiny. You can also do a 0.3 or a 0.35 if you want a little bit closer. My machines cut better on a 0.38 or 0.40, so I just usually stick with those. You will now have a second layer on here. So if I zoom in, you guys can see that there is another faint line around these stickers, which is basically your outline for your stickers. All you have to do now is select the middle and delete that for each one. So just select the middle parts here. Now, if you notice here, this pink one here has a little like sliver cut out in the middle of the balloons, and the peach one does not. All you have to do is click your erase tool and just delete those, and that was just an easy fix for those of you who actually get those. After this, all you have to do is add in your registration marks, print this out, and cut it. Now, I don't include any registration marks for the deco or the functional files, mainly because everyone's program is completely different compared to yours. So now you just click the registration marks and add in your style. So click the machine that you have. I think normally everyone now has a Cameo or a Portrait or a Curio. I have a Cameo here, and I just move these around. So this crosshatch here, as you can see on the sides, normally are because everything in the white should be your safe area. If you have anything that's supposed to get cut in the crosshatch, it might not cut correctly. So this is when you actually kind of like move the registration marks. Once you have your registration mark down, all you have to do is get this printed. You might need to extend the length of the registration marks. It really really depends on your machines. Everyone's machine is different. Mine can be on the smallest setting and the smallest thickness, and mine works just fine. But I do know that some machines have to have like the thickest settings. Anyway, after this, that you have your registration marks and your cut lines, all you have to do is print this page. So just send this off to the printer and put this inside your Silhouette machine, and it should cut fine. Now for settings on where your cut settings are, that might also vary between your paper. You might have to play around with those settings as well. For example, I usually set this to cut edge, and then I select white sticker paper, and my settings are actually on blade 1 regardless if my blade on my machine is like at a 4 and speed 8 and then thickness 10. Sometimes I do have to go down the speed if it's like a very intricate type of file. For the most part, this works pretty well. So I'm going to send this to print and cut them. Okay everyone, now if you actually want to cut these punched out into like sticker sheets using the Silhouette machine, I actually do a new file. So this one would be like Printable's cutout. I already saved this here. Either select the rectangle, draw a rectangle tool, or draw a rounded rectangle tool. If you want like the rounded corners, then you can obviously use the rounded rectangle here inside the lines that I actually provided already. Those are just in case you want to cut those with scissors. And you can actually change the shape of this using these little dots and just dragging them across. And you can actually move these around. Just select the middle of each one and move it if you need it a different size or something like that. And so just copy that and paste it. Now it won't paste exactly where you want it, obviously. So all you have to do is align this. So I kind of drag and select both of those. And in your align settings here, just align to the left. And you can also align this using the arrows as well if you want to just move it up a smidge. I actually group these, so Apple G to group, and then I copy those again and then paste them. You can also go to the top of your screen and do like copy paste type of thing. Command C and then Command V here, as you would in like a regular like program. And then you select both of those and then you aligned to the top if you want. If they are aligned, for example, up here, then obviously you would want this one down, so you just align to bottom. And this one is moved towards the left a little, and we want that more to the right. So I would actually just fidget with the arrow keys and just move those manually because that's just easier to do. The settings for your cutouts are going to be completely different than what you would probably normally do. I actually use old blades to cut out sheets. I don't do this when I'm doing things for the sticker shop. Cutting out stickers actually kills your blades faster. But if you're going to do this like once or twice for yourself, you can easily just do this by yourself. But I actually do a different sheet, mainly because my cut settings are different than probably someone else's. There is a way you can have the Silhouette cut the stickers themselves and punch out the stickers at the same time when you first feed it into the Silhouette machine, but I don't do that because I normally physically have to move the blade on the machine to a different blade number. It's usually like an 8 or a 10 to punch out the stickers, and that will completely cut out your sheets on your sticker mat most of the time. And again, you can also just cut them with the guillotine like I do normally, and you can also use scissors, so it's really up to you. Here is the finished product once you actually trim these down. I just trim these along the dotted line so you guys can see, but this is basically all of the cut sticker sheets. But these are actually now ready to, take with you in your planners. The printable files are for personal use, so you cannot distribute these or sell these, but it's a great way to have instant stickers that you can take with you all the time. So that is it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone.